Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome back to my channel. Tonight I have a different project to share with you all. It is an adult Christmas countdown calendar. So it's a countdown calendar with adult beverages in it. And this is a used paper from the Pine Street Square pad from the paper studio, that one of the pads that I've been working on using up for Christmas. And this crate is so big that I can't really fit the whole thing in, so I'll have a picture at the end. But basically, it's just an old crate that we have that I've been using for decoration in my living room. It came from my dad. It's got like a vintage image here on the front. So just kind of like a rustic decorative element that I've been using. And I was getting ready to put it away for Christmas time because I had put something else in its place in our living room and decided that it would be perfect for our adult beverage countdown calendar. So kind of the story behind this is last year, my husband and I decided that since our girls had their own advent calendars, which count down to Christmas, we should have something as well. But we didn't want to necessarily do like the candies or the trinkets or the little coupons or whatever. We wanted something a little more, I don't know, something more adult, I guess, for lack of a better word. And so we decided to use little bottles of the little 2-3 ounce bottles of alcohol that you can buy. And so kind of on the fly last year, I went out and somehow rounded up 25 of those little bottles. It was a mix of some bourbon, some flavored vodkas, like other flavored liqueurs, and a couple other random things, rums maybe that were in there. And it was a really, and last year, like I said, it was on the fly, so all I did was I just took some brown craft wrapping paper that we had, wrapped it around the bottle, tied some twine around it, and attached a tag with a number on it, and had it sitting on our bar in our basement. So it was kind of very, very rudimentary, very last minute. But it was a lot of fun because it was a fun way to try some new beverages that we hadn't tried before, that we wouldn't necessarily normally try. And then we also found it was a really good way for us to kind of connect at the end of the day, especially during this time of year. It's so busy. Normally, this time of year, once our girls go to bed, my husband and I both go different ways because he's rushing to get some stuff done and I'm rushing to get stuff done. And it's just like, we're constantly going. And so we found it was a really good way, even if it's like 5-10 minutes, after the girls go to bed. It was just kind of our time, like with the two of us. So it was kind of a good way to connect. So we wanted to do it again this year. And unfortunately, I was running way behind just because we had so much going on. And I knew I wanted to do something a little bit different as far as the presentation of it. I wanted to do something a little more permanent. And when I was going through my Pine Street Square pad earlier this fall, it had one of the patterns was countdown numbers, like cut aparts. And there were 3 sheets of it. So I figured, that might be good to use one of those sheets for our countdown calendar, just because it was kind of rustic and it kind of fit in, with our style and what we were wanting to do. So, like I said, we're kind of late to the game this year, and we still have 25 days, and it is today. I'm recording this on December 15th, so this is more like a countdown to mid-January at this point. My birthday is in mid-January, so we just figured it's going to be the countdown to my birthday, since we're going to go well past Christmas with what we have here. But what I did is I took the cut apart numbers from the Pine Street Square pad and cut them apart. Some of them I punched, like this one I used a scallop circle punch on the number itself. Here I just did a circle punch. There are some that I fussy cut. Here's a good example. Fussy cut around the little border around the number. And then some I just left, kind of square, but added a fishtail or just left it as a rectangle. So I kind of did different things depending on how the number was on the cut-aparts. But then all of them, I used other scraps from the pad to back them. So I just tried to find some scraps, one, that were big enough to fit, and two, that would kind of help it pop out. So that was kind of a fun little exercise, is going through and used up a bunch of the scraps. But then I had a pack of clothespins that came from the Dollar Tree. So I want to say there were like 30 some odd clothespins in the pack, and for $1. And I just took some score tape and attached it to the back of my number piece here, and then put that onto, or actually I put it directly onto the clothespin and then added my number piece. So that way it's a little more permanent than just using like a tape runner. So I did that with all 25 days. And then for the bag itself, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to put our little bottles in this year. And some of the bottles were too big to fit in like the little treat bag size craft bags that I had on hand. And I knew I didn't want to go as big as a lunch bag. And so I remembered that I had a whole big stack of wine bags from the Indiana Upland Wine Trail that my husband and I completed, 10 years ago, maybe. So anytime you bought wine from one of these wineries, you got a wine bag, that had Upland on it. And my original intent on saving them at the time was I was going to make some paper bag scrapbooks with them. I had done that in the past, and it's really the pages, if you use these wine bags, the pages are perfect for a 4x6 photo that doesn't have to be trimmed down. So that's kind of like what my thought was on saving them, but I haven't made one of those types of scrapbook in a really long time. So I had all these bags sitting there. And still, like if I go to the grocery store or Target or something and buy a bottle of wine and they put it in a wine bag, I still save them even though I had a whole stash. So I finally put those bags to use. I cleared out my stash of wine bags, and I ended up taking some decorative scissors and just trimmed the bags down, and then put my bottle in, folded them over, and I once I put my bottles in, I shuffled them around so I didn't know what was in what bag, and then just used my paper clip to add the number. So nothing really hard. It was actually a really quick project, just kind of really fun. And the bags I can actually save, the paper clips with the numbers can be saved, so at least I can reuse this from year to year. It's a little more permanent than what I had last year. And the crate, I thought about decorating the front of the crate with something, for our countdown calendar, but then realized I use this every day normally in our living room, and I didn't want to have to add to it and then take it off. So I decided against it for this year. If I end up using this crate again next year, then I might add something on the back and just make sure I don't show that, or make it so that I can put it on and off. So that is my fun project. That is one way that I am using the countdown letter number cut aparts from the Pine Street Square pad. I do have some plans to do a different countdown calendar as well, one that's not just adult based. That's something that could be more kid friendly or any age friendly. But like I said, I knew I had wanted to use this for our countdown calendar with the adult beverages. So hope you guys enjoyed this kind of different take on a countdown calendar, and I am happy. It used up one full sheet of the number cut aparts, so that was good. And then I don't know how much, full sheet wise I used up of the scraps, but I did use up a good number of scraps on these as well. And like I said, I got rid of the whole stack of wine bags that I had in my stash. So that right there made me very happy, all of that I got to use up. So, and the crate I already had, so the only cost we had was really in the liquor, the alcohol that we put inside the bag. So, and like I said, I had bought some extra bottles. We had some extra bottles, and so we've already kind of started it. We just haven't officially broken into our formal countdown calendar yet, and it has really been a good way, especially on the bourbons. Like, we will sit and sip them and talk, for like 30, 45 minutes or whatever before we go to bed or before we go our separate ways. It's just a great way to kind of connect at the end of the day and kind of remind us to connect, because we know we should connect. We know we should sit down and talk and spend some time together, but sometimes we just get so caught up in everything going on that it's like, okay, the kids have gone to bed, he goes out to the barn, and I go into my studio, and then I'm off to bed before he comes in, I get up before he gets up, and getting the kids up, and it's just rush from there. So this has been a great way for us to just have some quiet, quality time together at the end of the day, and it's something that we both enjoy, and it gives us a chance to either retry some bourbons that we haven't tried in a while, or to try some new bourbons or beverages that we haven't had a chance to try. So it's fun. And like I said, I'm happy I was able to use up what I used up of my Pine Street Square pad and from the stuff from my stash. So hope you guys enjoy or can appreciate this project. Let me know if you have any questions on anything. Otherwise, I thank you guys so much for your time today, and I hope you're having a crafty and wonderful December.